Detective Ralf investigates in The Phantom of the Operalf. Part 5.
Breaking news.
Minister, what do you have to say about what happened during the premiere of Gaida, the National Operalf?
I strongly condemn these horrible events, of course. We will find the person or persons responsible for it. In fact, the nation's best men and women, because it's an equal nation, they're working on it as we speak. Culture will prevail. Crime will not. We will never let the terrorists win. We will never surrender.
Anything else?
I strongly condemn it.
Thank you, Minister. You've heard it yourself. Our country is targeted by terrorists. Are our special forces really capable of putting an end to what could be the beginning of a horrendous series of terrorist attacks against public events? We will let you know first. This was an exclusive interview with the Minister for Culture, presented to you by Deanna Nestling, DDC News. These news are the best news. On with the weather forecast.
Am I off the air? Cool. Who's up for running through some fields of wheat? Still let the terrorists win, Ralph.
Terrorism? Terrorism? Nothing even remotely indicates a terrorist attack, or even a series of crimes. It was merely a puny outlaw who injured one person and killed another one. This was not the work of terrorists.
Do not worry, Detective. You need to approach this like an opera performer. We're used to getting unfair reviews and blasphemous media coverage all of the time.
Unfair reviews?
All of the time.
This reminds me of the incident.
Gaida, we swore never to mention the incident again.
I'm sorry.
What are you talking about?
It happened a long time ago. I doubt it is relevant to the current case.
4 years ago, to be precise.
Excuse me, but it's still my job to determine whether something is relevant or not.
I wasn't around when it happened. I was still a gentle and inexperienced singer, finishing my acting class. But I've heard many rumors from the older colleagues since I started working at the Operalf.
Jennifer was such a talented singer.
Who was Jennifer?
A talented singer.
She started performing at the opera. Before it was the Operalf, together with Mato Nasro, Becky Beckinsale, Di Ferro, and of course myself. Jenny worked really very hard to be here, and we got along benissimissimo.
Some got along with her better than others, they say.
Jennifer and I had a purely professional relationship.
And why did the biased media coverage remind you of Jennifer, Gaida? What was this incident that took place 4 years ago?
From what I know, there was this critic who treated Jennifer very badly in his review. She couldn't handle the pressure and the negative publicity, and
She committed suicide as a result of it. It was a humongous tragedy. We were all crying for weeks.
Say, said critic wasn't who I think it was it?
Yes, it was. The critic from 4 years ago was Duke Alexander.
I smell a motive.
I don't smell anything.
Ah, the waiter. How's it going?
I'm a bit bored. Most of the people left the Operalf. There is nobody left to serve drinks to.
Actually, you can serve me some drinks. And by serve, I mean answer, and by drinks, I mean questions.
At your service, master.
How long have you worked at the Operalf? Or rather, at the Opera House before it was named the Operalf.
This is my 10th year working here, I think.
Tell me, do you remember anything about a girl called Jennifer?
Jennifer.
She'd used to sing here before she passed away.
I remember her well. Back in the day, it was my job to clean the auditorium after the show. Oh, she was so proud of herself and happy with her last performance that she stayed longer and helped me vacuum the entire place.
She seemed like a lovely person.
Yes, she was. When I saw her on stage, I thought she was a self-centered diva. But after the opera, it turned out she was nothing like it. She was very social and didn't get disgusted by the most disgusting things.
What do you mean? Did you find anything repulsive while cleaning the room?
Oh, master. You wouldn't believe what one finds in the audience after big events. There was like this one critic who cut his fingernails during the opera.
Ugh.
That was my reaction too. Ugh, but, Jennifer didn't mind. She actually smiled at me and said that the fingernails were a positive sign.
Strange. Oh well, thank you very much.
At your service, master.
Detective! Detective!
Yes?
I just remembered something. I don't know if it is relevant at all, but it seems outlandish to me, so I'd better tell you about it.
What is it?
Not only is the Phantom of the Opera a ruthless killer, Becky Beckinsale also takes pleasure in littering.
Tell me more about that. Any detail might be important.
I found lots of scattered pieces of yellow and brown styrofoam backstage. It's a monstrous untidiness, I'm telling you. It must have been her.
Matto Nasro, there you are. Gaira suggested that instead of dawdling away the time, we should go and visit the Pharaoh at the hospital.
Isn't he still unconscious?
He is, but we can go and goggle at him to recuperate his spirit. Trust me, it will help him.
Fine. We depart, detective.
Arrivederci.
See you later, I guess. This was a very promising hunt for information. I wonder if Johnson found anything useful. I'd better call him.
Detective Ralph?
Williamson. Any news from the hospital?
Not really, but...
And anything on Becky Beckinsale?
She's still missing, but I doubt she's the murderer. I found some vital clues that will help you solve the case. This evidence I found incriminates a specific person. Let me once again remind you that I found this evidence myself without any help.
Great. Let me just fetch Johnson and we'll exchange all the information we've got. Hang on a moment, I'll just call him on his phone.
Good luck with that. Oh,
Williamson? Why does your phone vibrate when I'm trying to reach Johnson? Why do you have Johnson's phone?
Johnson gave me his phone. Yes, Johnson gave me his phone because he said he's going to the hospital and he didn't want his phone to disrupt any of the medical equipment there.
And he did not inform me.
Yes, I don't know why he wouldn't tell you. In our profession, it's very important to have a partner to rely on and communicate with at all times. Perhaps Johnson isn't as reliable as we both thought.
Whatever. You were saying...
Oh, yes. The evidence I found. The first thing I did when I discovered it was come here and tell you about it. I discovered a...
Excuse me, I have to answer this. Yes, Detective Ralph speaking. Huh? Who's there? Johnson? Is that you? I'd recognize that mumble anywhere.
Johnson, Tap your phone once for no and twice for yes. Do you understand? Okay, tap again if you can't speak out loud now for whatever reason. Did someone tie you up and gag you? On the way to or at the hospital? No? Are you still somewhere in the Operalf? Williamson, Johnson's been kidnapped and he's trapped in this very building. We have to find him.
Williamson? Williamson?
How could I have been so reckless? First I forgot to turn off Johnson's phone, and now this. I moved him from the murderer's dressing room to another place, but I forgot to make sure there wasn't a stationary phone around. I should have killed that misbegotten mongrel instead of just knocking him out.
Johnson, do you know where exactly you are? Give me a clue to where you are. Give me anything, any ambient sound, just give me a piece of information that I can make use of to find you and rescue you. What? Johnson, this is not the right time to play games. Just give me a hint at where you are.
Don't just tap your phone. Give me a clue. Give me a hint, please, Johnson. Johnson, I'll come and rescue you. Just give me anything.
Johnson? Johnson? Hello? Hello?
Oh no. Did the phone go dead? Did someone cut its line? Should I call the police? Whoops. I am the police. What was that? You're lucky you're not the phone. Well, I'd stay a bit longer for a cup of tea, but there's a case to solve. Oh, just to let you know, normally I'd kill you now and hide your body, but since I have no time to waste and you have no means to tell Detective Ralph where you are, I will have to come back later. Take care, Polar Bear.